effort to grow on Instagram? If you're watching this video, most likely you are. Posting one or more of these free and paid options, or you're considering using them in the near future to help spark your Instagram growth. Well, today we are joined by Melissa Litchfield. She just jumped in, so give her a moment as her screen loads. We're joined by Melissa Litchfield, who's going to help us determine which of these options are best for you, and we'll share our own social media marketing strategies on which ones we personally use ourselves. So, with all that being said, let's get into it today as we help you step your gram up on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I am so glad that we are going to be talking about this important topic of something that a lot of people are unaware of to certain degrees of some of the features that are available, sometimes even some of the ways that you could utilize it. And I'm hoping that at the end of today's conversation that you guys are a little bit more aware, a little bit more knowledgeable in regards to some of these offerings that Instagram has. If you guys are unaware or don't know who I am, I'm Heston of Social Varsity, a social media marketing agency that specializes in DM automation. And this is the Social Roundtable, which I co-host with my amazing co-host there on the screen, Megan. Megan, how are you doing today?
Hello, I am so good. Thank you to everyone for being here. I'm super excited for us to have this discussion and really get more clarity on what we should be putting our focus on when it comes to the content we're creating, specifically for Instagram. So, very excited. If you guys are new to our space and new to me, my name's Meg from Social Media with Meg, and I help small businesses, content creators, entrepreneurs grow and scale their brand using social media and making content creation something that is fun in their business and not another agonizing task, so they can really make the most of what they create. So, and we're today joined by Melissa. Very excited for her to be here. She is a powerhouse when it comes to ads, funnels, building brands and businesses, and really helping them stand out from the rest. So, thank you so much, Melissa, for being here. Can you take a moment, say hello, and anything you'd like to add what you do?
Hi, thanks for having me. So I'm a smidge late. Some of these meetings end up being back to back, but I'm so happy to have to be here. And honestly, I need to up my YouTube live games anyway. So this is my first live on YouTube. So I'm super intrigued to see how this looks after we're all done. But yeah, I'm super stoked to talk more about trial reels and how we can utilize that as a testing phase to kind of influence what we want to run ads to. So yeah, excited.
Well, welcome to your first YouTube Live. We are so glad that you are joining us today, and we are helping bringing you into the YouTube Live world. Those that are in the live chat, please show her a little bit of love, as well as give some love to our moderator, IG Live with Angela. She's in the live chat right now. Thank you so much, Angela. And she says, welcome, Melissa, as well. For you guys that don't know, once again, this is the Social Roundtable, your weekly live series on YouTube where we feature myself and Megan feature different individuals in the world of social media, content creation, digital marketing, and more. And once again, today we are so glad to be joined by Melissa Litchfield. You may know her better as Litchfield Media on Instagram. We're going to be talking about today which is best for Instagram growth, boosted posts, trial reels, or ads. And I want to make sure I share with you guys right now, for those that are watching live, we have a community poll that is up right now. The question is, have you ever shared a boosted post, trial reel, or an ad post on Instagram? I'm actually surprised. Right now, is 62% said yes. They have shared one of those three.
Okay.
And I'm surprised because I asked the same question on Saturday and I
Mhm.
let it run for the whole weekend. And it was almost the opposite. I got 78% that said no. They
Oh,
haven't shared any one of these different type of pay or free options to help grow on Instagram. So I'm hoping at the end of this conversation, Melissa and Megan, that we can convert more people to say not just yes, but they are ready to try it after this special live episode of ours here today. So
mhm.
with that being said, you guys know how our show is. I have two questions that we're going to run through in our conversation. We will save some time for Q&A at the end of our conversation, and Megan will lead one of the games that everybody can take part in, everybody on the screen, and for those of us watching, whether it's a replay or live. Ladies, are you ready to jump into this conversation?
Yes.
Yes.
Do it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I want to start off with the first question because one of the things I've noticed in my research about this is some of the most searched concepts on Google is how to grow on Instagram, social media growth, or just simply Instagram growth. Yes, growing an audience is an important aspect of social media marketing strategy, whether you're considering via organic reach or paid advertising. Now, along with paid options, boosted posts, and Instagram ads, IG introduced trial reels recently. I'm going to say possibly like 4 or 5 months ago.
Mhm.
So I want to ask this question, but I want everybody to answer whichever one they want. I'll go last, so I'll be happy to take whichever one you guys leave behind. I'm going to go to you first, Melissa, as our honored guest here.
Okay.
What is the difference between boosted posts, trial reels, and ads? So pretty much, if you could choose one and define it in your own terms.
Okay, yes, I will take the boosted post. Since I am an ad person, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in trial reels yet, but I'm learning more about them and how they can influence specific content for ads. But yeah, boosted posts essentially is a way to put money behind some organic posts that you already have on your feed or reels that you've been, testing and they've accumulated some views and maybe you're like, okay, let's see if I can boost this post, put some extra money behind it and do it through the Instagram app. So when you do that through the app, actually though now Apple charges a fee. It doesn't come from Meta. So it's about a $29 fee to boost the post through the app. So what I would want everybody on the live to do instead of utilizing the app through Apple or Android is to log into Meta Ads Manager and create an ad manually yourself. So it's completely free. There's no additional fee. And you can customize a lot more additional features and you can get a little bit more targeted as well. Obviously, a lot more targeted. So,
Yes, well, there goes the great definition of boosted posts. That was boosted posts, correct?
yes. So, essentially, you're putting money behind any sort of post. It could be a reel, it could be a carousel post, it could be an image.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
awesome. Well, and I want to make sure everybody kind of has an understanding, those that are watching, of what each one of these three options are. So that's why I want to make sure that we are defining each one. Megan, I'm going to go to you next, and you can choose one of the two remaining.
I'm going to say trial reels because I love them so much. Trial reels, like Heston said, is a newer feature. And what it basically is you can create a reel and then right when you're getting ready to post it, there's going to be a little toggle that you can toggle on and it will say trial reels. What that means is it will go out to non-followers and it will not go to your feed or your Reels tab either. So it's just to non-followers, and you can find it just as if they were, recommended posts or on the Explore page, or if they're in the Reels tab scrolling. And from there, if it's performing well and you want to post it to your feed, you can go back in and share it. So once you go into like your draft and trial section on your page, you can see which reels are trials. So again, remember those are just going to non-followers, but then you can toggle that on to show to, oh, I think we lost Melissa.
Oh, did we? Oh, yes. It looks like we may have lost Melissa. She will be back on. She's going to probably try to jump on with the same link. Um, yeah. Go ahead and continue.
All
I'll
right.
see if she jumps back on.
Cool. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. So, yeah, you can go back into your trial reels and then bring it to your feed if you are enjoying the way it's performing. Personally, though, I would suggest to post two separate ones, duplicate it, and post a trial reel and post one to your feed, so you have more opportunity to see how they perform in different ways. But that's the trial reel.
That's a good one. I got a lot to talk about with trial reels later on in the next question. So I got a lot, good and bad.
Yes.
I'll leave it at that one. A little tease. As we wait for Melissa to join us once again, I'm going to share the remaining option, which is pretty much ads. Now, there is a slight difference. Melissa spoke more about boosted post ads, and she shared a little bit also of the aspect of regular ads, because there is a small difference. With boosted ads, you could do entirely on your phone.
Mhm.
Usually when you put up a piece of content, whether it's a carousel or a reel, whatever it may be, underneath it you'll find a little button that says boost post. I think it might be a different verbiage, but it pretty much means the same thing.
Mhm.
We're not talking about that. That's what Melissa has was talking about. What I'm talking about is what Melissa had actually suggested you do instead, which is to actually go into Ads Manager and create your ad deliverables from there. You create the entire ad campaign. Glad to see you back, Melissa. We were just getting into the ads. I got left behind with ads. I thought you would have took ads, Melissa. I'm very surprised you didn't take ads.
Well, I do consider boosted post to be an ad, so I can I can
Yeah.
take the other ad. But
Oh yeah,
sorry,
it
my
definitely is.
yes. Would you want me to just speak on in general running ads through Instagram versus like a boosted
Well,
post?
I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about that in the next question. I was just adding a little bit more in regards to the difference between the boosted post, because that was the one that you more focused on. And that's what a lot more people see when they're on Instagram.
Right.
Whenever they post, they see that prompt. Hey, do you want to boost this post? And it's
Mhm.
just Instagram's way. To me, I like to look at it as is their way of just saying, hey, just put 5 on it. Put 5 on it and see what happens. But
Yeah.
when you do it the other way through Ad Manager, I feel like it's such a better way, because you get much more control. You are able to control a lot more of the different creatives and images. And,
Mhm.
and when I say control, I mean like who the target audience is, where you're sending it to, what area of Instagram do you want it? Do you want it only IG stories? Do you want it only on Reels or as a carousel? It's so much more control with the Ad Manager. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely much more to learn. It's not as easy as just simply hitting the boost button and just a couple of the options. But I prefer to do it that way, 'cause I think you get more bang for your buck. And I have a feeling Melissa's going to talk a little bit more about that exactly as we move into our next question. I saw a few statements in the live chat. Greg said, "Save your money." I think that's in relation to the boost post. He sounds like he's speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I feel
actually, exactly. He said, "I've had bad experiences." Oh, he's talking about trial reels. He said, "I've had bad experiences with trial reels." We're going to talk a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, I've heard of some people not having any success either. So I'm wondering if you guys have heard of a few people not being able to utilize the feature as well as others. Like maybe I don't know if it's a new feature too, right? Instagram is always rolling out these new things,
Yes.
so glitches, right? Always happens with Meta. So I can only imagine that they're probably still maybe working out the kinks, and maybe that's why some people are not seeing success and others are. So
Well, for
for
one
sure.
thing, I know for a fact that trial reels is not available in every country. So that's one thing that's limiting a lot more people to actually utilizing it.
Right.
But as you kind of shared, there are some people, it seems like most aren't having a lot of success with trial reels. Even myself and Megan talk all the time about trial reels, and I'm sure she'll talk a little bit more about her experience. But with myself, I just posted today a carousel, and the title of it is "I posted 50 trial reels, and this is what I learned." So I shared 5 different tips. I'll probably talk a little bit more about that today, but I will admit I have not had that breakthrough that I hear a few people talk about in regards to trial reels. I haven't had it yet, but I've had glimmer of hope. Especially recently in the last 48 hours, I've had glimmers of hope with trial reels, which is actually excited me to continue trying it. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about my strategy that I'm going to use in the next question. For those that are just now joining in, once again, you guys are watching the Social Roundtable. This is a weekly live series that myself and Megan host, where we have featured guests joining us. And today we are joined by Litchfield Media, better known Melissa Litchfield, and she's going to be joining us to discuss our topic today of trial reels versus boosted posts versus ads. Which one would be best for your particular goals in regards to growing on Instagram? We just kind of just covered what the differences between all 3 of them are. And we're going to go into our next question. I want to go back to you, Megan, if you had a question for the audience to jump into.
Yes, of course. So wondering here when it comes to boost posts, because I know we kind of asked in general at the beginning if anyone's done any of these, but has anyone gone in and actually hit that boost post? I feel like that one, like you said, Heston, is a little bit more familiar for people because you see it at the bottom of your post. Has anyone in the audience done that or clicked on it and seen where you're like where it takes you, thought about it?
I have. Put my hands up real quick. I think it's
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure you've done it as well, Melissa, between Boost Posts and Ads Manager. Despite the fact you prefer the regular ads, you've
Well,
experimented with boosted posts.
I'm there every day anyways. I don't remember when I boosted a post the last time. Like I'm there all the time for work, you know, and I'm checking ad accounts. So for me, it's like a natural segue into Ads Manager. But I know that if you're just familiar with the app on IG and you've been utilizing it, I can see why it's like too convenient, right? To utilize the app. And it's a little
Yeah.
more of a pain to kind of log into your desktop and pull it up on your
Yeah.
browser. Yeah. And then to
Well, you
navigate,
gave a
right?
good well, you gave a good reason initially off the top why to
Mhm.
use it on the desktop to save money. That 30% right there is a big insightful reason why you would want to initiate on the desktop rather than mobile.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. 100%.
And that applies to Apple and Google, correct?
Yes. And I mean, do you mean Google, like the Google App Store or
Yes.
well, for Android? I mean, I think it's just an Apple thing. It, in all honesty,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's just an Apple thing. So for whatever reason, Apple wants to, me personally, I think they have their own advertising that they want to be utilized within their own phone, right? Their own device. Like we're utilizing an Apple device. So I do feel like there's this competitiveness, right, between different advertising platforms. So it's almost like Apple is penalizing you to advertise through Meta instead of with them. That's only my 2 cents, but
All right. Megan, did you see anybody respond to your question?
Yes, we've got James says that he's clicked on it but bailed. So definitely you check it out, right? Greg says, yes, I have pressed the button, thought twice about it. I love that. Yeah, so I think that's a lot of people because it's like bright blue, right? At the bottom. So yeah, it grabs our attention.
Yeah.
We want to see what it is. And then whether or not to follow through. And some people do it and they're like, I'm just gonna, like you said, us in like $5, see what happens and kind of track and see. And I think it's something that can get a lot of people to kind of play around when they don't understand what could be done with a proper strategy, I guess. So I guess a lot of people probably check it out. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Thank you guys all for the responses. I'm going to go into my next question. I'm going to leave this one to you first, Megan, in regards to this, because whether your Instagram marketing strategy focuses on whether it's Instagram growth, Instagram engagement, or even Instagram sales, there are preferred ways to approach organic reach and paid advertising marketing that we've all respectively grown accustomed to from our own experiences with clients and even some of our own content. So, with that being said, Megan, which strategy would you suggest utilizing these options, or maybe not some of them, to increase growth on Instagram?
Definitely. So I will come right out and say I don't think that you should be boosting posts or running ads if you don't have any um, background in it or understanding of it. And if you already are struggling with organic content, try to get the quality of your content there first. And then, learn about it along the way or hire somebody like Melissa to help you have success and you're not just throwing money away. And then when it comes to kind of how to use all of them together, if you were to, I would suggest to play with trial reels, see what content performs well, and then put money behind it after. If it is, the post that has the most reach and engagement for you and the best return organically, then go into how you're going to put money behind that. I don't know if anyone has ever, let us know in the comments if you've ever read or listened to Gary Vaynerchuk's book Day Trading, but he is always talking in all of his content, but in this book specifically, he talks a lot about before you're running ads, what organic content is performing, and then boost that, not boost, I shouldn't say boost, put money behind that for your ads, because it's proven, right? It's already going to land well. So make sure that you are trial and error, see what works best, then go all in.
Would you add? And so you're saying use trial reels for that, or just any of the regular reels?
That's
content?
valid. I mean, both. I would do trial reels to see how it performs that way. Then if it performs well, post it normal as a normal reel organically, get that proof that it's performing well, and then put the money behind it.
Awesome. Well, we have one person who suggested this type of method. I'm interested to know what would Melissa suggest in regards to whether we should use all three, use maybe only one. How would you suggest to somebody that wants to learn on who wants to grow on Instagram, Melissa?
Yes. Okay. So I do love Megan's idea about testing and utilizing trial reels to see what lands. I think that is a great way to kind of vet the content that you want, to send traffic to before you actually spend the money and send the traffic to the thing. But it also like kind of goes back to like what is the ultimate end goal, right? And I think a lot of people may forget that. So I do think it's a great strategy though. So if let's say you are looking to sell more of a particular product, but you're not really sure what type of creative to make, I would test at least like the 3 different forms of reels, right? 4 trial reels to essentially see which one would land better. So it becomes almost like a sandboxing kind of phase where you can test certain angles, hooks, see which one would maybe gather more engagement, more DMs. I feel like DMs are like a really good indicator of if a content is really landing and could potentially bring in conversions, because you started to spark that conversation, right? Just from your reels. So if you see that kind of like currency exchange happening, right, where you're getting into the DMs with people and you're having conversations, or maybe they're really having multiple like comments, right, a thread going within your reel, I feel like that's a really good indicator that would really land well and perform well with money behind it. So trial reels, I'd say leave the boosted post, right, back in the app, leave it for Apple, but utilize Ads Manager and trial reels to kind of like build that foundation and almost do like a sandboxing initial test before you put money behind it. So that way you're utilizing your spend, the most accurate way.
And once again, getting the most bang for your buck in regards to the money that you're putting up, because this won't be cheap. You want to make sure that you're putting your money in the right way, in the right places on Instagram, or just in marketing in general, social media marketing. You want to make sure you're getting most of your money for it. I have to admit, I agree with you guys almost verbatim in regards to this strategy for marketing on Instagram. I am quite against boosted posts. I won't use boosted posts unless I'm testing something. If I'm testing something, that's the only time that I would actually utilize it. Other than that, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's more advantageous for yourself to use the manager ad, learn it. Like I said, it is not easy. It's quite complicated. I will say that up front. But once you kind of get a hang of it, and there's plenty of tutorials online, not just, you know what? You might even say that. Go to Melissa's page and you would find a lot of information from Melissa herself. And she has a program and some other assets that she would be willing to share with you guys. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But if you want to get that type of information, go to somebody who, as she said, she deals with this every day. She's probably in the ads manager more than Instagram itself on a daily basis, because that's where she lives and breathes in regards to to this product. So I would say work with somebody who specializes in ads, and learn as much from them as you can. Myself, I would do that same thing. I would use ads daily on a long-term basis, not a short-term basis. In that same aspect of what you guys are talking about with trial reels, I would use successful trial reels and turn them into ads. And when I say trial reels, I want to kind of go back on trial reels because one of the things I did, I shared earlier that I shared 50 trial reels probably within the last 2 months. I did 12 trial reels just in the last 24 hours,
Wow.
probably
Okay.
almost exactly 24 hours. And what I did was I created 4 different videos and I shared 3 different versions of each. So 4 times 3 is 12. And kind of as Melissa said, some of them had different hooks, some of them had different audio attached to it. Some of them, they all had the same caption pretty much, or at least the main 3 videos had the same captions, but there were differences to each. And I did learn quite a bit. Some performed very well, some performed horrible. I shared all of this on my latest post that I shared out today. But one of those was the one that kind of really gave me inspiration to continue going more because it definitely went more than my average views on Instagram. And it did start to get some engagement. I admit, not a lot, but I started getting some comments. I think I got 2 or 3 followers from it. And this was, once again, for those that don't know, Trial Reels goes directly to people that don't follow you. So that's exactly what you want. And you have to kind of create the content with that in mind. So don't create a trial reel for an audience that already knows you. You know, don't start off saying, "Hey, remember last week, guys, when we spoke about?" They don't know you. You're a stranger to them, and you have to approach it that way. And honestly, I had to do that because the reel that worked the best, surprisingly, was the reel that did not feature me in it. It was a reel that featured a celebrity. It was a quick meme of, I forgot the celebrity's name. He's a rapper. Um, Drewski, I think that's his name. Just him saying something very simple, and I had a little caption at the top that said
Mhm.
something related to Instagram Reels, and people gravitated to that, and it got more views than my last amount of reels that I posted to my own feed of people that do follow me. So I'm going to be using something along those lines. Obviously, I won't be putting money behind a reel that features somebody else. You know, I'll put that to the reel that focuses on me. But you want to experiment, play around with certain things. Trial reels is your opportunity to really go out there and test what you wouldn't normally test on your feed. And some of the rules that I've learned is, and like I said, I shared this on my post. You don't have to put one trial reel up per day because it's going to non-followers. You can put up as many as you want in a day. You most likely aren't going to see those people again, but if you do, that means they most likely are following you, and that's exactly what you want from it, or engaging with you in some other way, shape, or form. So, I think
Mhm.
trial reels to ads is possibly the best other solution to utilize and just skip boosted post. Um, yeah, we got a lot of people in the live chat that said they haven't done trial reels. I'm hoping that you guys give trial reels a try maybe this week. Maybe that's a challenge, Megan, that we challenge you guys this week to do, to go out there and give trial reels a try. Create a few different versions, and you never know what might happen from it. And if you guys go ahead and do that, please go ahead and let myself and Megan and even Melissa know your results. What did you learn from it? What did you gather?
Yeah.
Before we close this topic, any other additions that you guys wanted to add to this topic?
I wanted to add a quick little metric that people can kind of physically calculate, but basically it's like the first 3 seconds of your video, like the play rate, right? So like initially, like how long are you able to grasp their attention essentially? So looking
Yeah.
for that metric for the first 3 seconds, like and this I don't correct me if I'm wrong. Does Instagram give you like a breakdown of like how long they watch the video yet? Is that a analytic?
Yes, it does. For some people, it's like, one of those features that like
Based
one of
out.
my accounts has it, the other one doesn't.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe that could be potentially something that you utilize maybe in like phase 2 of like the testing phase, right? So like the trial reels could be like your phase 1 of like the C unboxing. And then phase 2, what I would personally measure after that or at that stage would be like the 3 second like watch rate, to really like hone in and see like, okay, if this particular video is grabbing their attention and they're watching longer, I would rather put more money into that particular video versus like the other ones.
Yes, yeah,
That
that's a
makes a
very
lot of
good point.
sense.
hmm
Was there anything
Because
else you wanted to add as well,
TikToks,
Megan?
yes, actually about trial reels, but going off what Melissa said there, TikTok's analytics are really good for seeing how long people view and just deeper. So hopefully
Right.
Instagram will step their game out there, but
Yeah,
it's
right? 'Cause
They'll
that's how
steal it in a few weeks.
yeah.
they'll utilize. Yeah, that's like I feel like a lot of creators utilize that feature over on TikTok to kind of see like, okay, what content is really landing and performing and holding the attention, because that's ultimately I think the like biggest currency right now, right? Is like for these platforms, they want people watching longer, and I feel like they're going to reward you for that. So
Totally. Yes, for sure. I agree with everything you said there. Thank you for adding that. I would say something about trial reels, because I see a lot of people saying they haven't done it, they want to start. One note is what I found for myself and from talking to a lot of people. If you start doing them, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to really start to work for you. You could post like the best one as your first one, but it still might not perform that well because it's just a different algorithm that's getting to learn what content you're creating and who to show it to, because there's multiple algorithms within Instagram. So give it some time, give it 10 15 posts to see what's taking off, and then really start to analyze. Obviously you want to take the analytics from those first ones and see what's working best from that, but don't get let down if it's taking a little while. And my second point here about trial reels is, if you feel like you don't have enough time to do a lot of them, just start duplicating your reels that you're already posting to your feed. You're already posting like to your followers, duplicate it, and then just post that as a trial reel. And at least you have that opportunity to reach the non-followers with both.
That's a really good one because I mean you've already created a piece of content already. You might as well duplicate it. That way you're reaching a much wider audience with one piece of content that you created.
one of my client did that recently. Like she took all of her best performing reels and made them all trial reels. And she said that like one went viral for the second time. So
Yeah,
it may be worth
Nice.
like
Nice.
repurposing as a trial reel, you know?
exactly.
So you know what? Let's make that the challenge, Megan. For those that are watching, whether it's the replay or you guys are watching live, discover one of your past reels that performed very well. We know that you have at least one of these.
Mhm.
Use that reel, copy it, and share it again, but make it a trial reel. And if you want, go ahead and tag myself and Megan on it, and Melissa if you like as well. We want to see what you guys are sharing out there, and that could be your start to trying out something brand new on Instagram that might get you brand new followers. It's definitely going to get you brand new reach. But as Megan has stated, the more you post is the better it's going to start working out for you. Like I said, I've shared 50 plus. I'm not going to say it's been working great for me, but I am starting to see some type of improvement now. But I'm sharing multiple at once. All right. So that's my other secret to it. All right, guys, we're going to start moving over to our Q&A. I hope that you guys were able to take a lot that we shared in regards to this conversation about boosted posts, ads, and trial reels. We want you guys to be successful with them all. Use which ones work best for you. Take what we shared and step your gram up in the best way possible. We're moving over now to our little trivia game that Megan is going to lead. Melissa, we like to have a little bit of fun here. We have a little game that everybody watching and ourselves on the screen will take part in. So, Megan, you have the mic.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. So we'll go around the table here, and everybody in the audience, if you would like to play along, we always love to know your answers. The game is One's Got to Go. So I'm going to give you 3 options of like things and vote which one, if you had to say goodbye to, which one it would be. So the first question, One's Got to Go. Being able to post Instagram reels, being able to post Pinterest idea pins, which are like their version of reels, or YouTube shorts. A, B, or C? Melissa, what would you say?
Like, which one? I guess I would default to Instagram just because like I'm not really on Pinterest as much. Yeah, and then shorts, I don't know, I haven't seen success. So I try, but really it's just being pushed there. So it's like I feel like I haven't really given it a chance. So I'll say IG.
Is one that you would keep?
I would keep, yes.
Okay. All right. So the other 2 can just go.
Yeah, I'm like, I really don't know what's going on over there. So.
I love it. Awesome. Heston, what would you say?
I'm
I
curious
would
to
get
know now.
rid of Pinterest pins. There's only one to get rid of, right?
Oh, just
yeah.
I thought you meant one to keep. Okay, one to keep.
Sorry. It's all good. Yeah. So, okay, Hassan, so you would say Pinterest. Okay, I kind of saw that
I
coming
will
for
get
you.
rid of Pinterest pins because I try to stay away from Pinterest because I will get addicted very quickly. I've I've gone down a rabbit hole on Pinterest, and next thing you know, I'm at Home Depot trying to build things I have no idea trying or how to build. I just love finding creative ideas out there. But to you, Melissa, it's interesting that you said that about shorts because I used to feel the same way. I kind of still do. Shorts is like Shorts is very close and similar to TikTok compared to Reels. I don't Shorts is less Reels, it's more like TikTok. But I have actually started to get a lot of good reach, like as of the last 2 weeks. And
Mhm.
what I've been actually doing, actually this podcast is a perfect example. I've been taking clips from this and then sharing it as shorts, and
Oh, I
they've been
like
actually performing pretty well. And the cool thing that shorts allows you to do, like if I create a clip, I probably might create a clip of this very thing that I'm saying. I could create a clip and then put a related link so they could tap on the link and it'll lead them to the actual full live. So
okay.
what might only amount to 30 seconds if they're interested in what we're saying could lead them to 30-minute watch time on my YouTube channel, which
Wow.
I've
Yeah.
been noticing has been working in the last few weeks. Like I've been getting more subscribers from shorts than from my live videos, which is interesting.
Interesting.
But
But
I'm
that's
still
a
playing
good
around with it.
conversion to kind of look into, like your conversion rate from shorts into a longer
Yeah.
watch time, because ultimately that's what you need to monetize, right? So it'd be kind of like a good
Yes. Well,
strategy.
the monetizing aspect of shorts, I feel it's ridiculous because they tell you need 10 million.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's 10 million views or hours, and
To
it's
get the
outrageous. I'm chasing the hours on the regular video.
yeah, I'm chasing. I want like them to watch the longer content for sure.
Yes, yes, yes,
And I have
absolutely.
seen subscribers. I tend to, when I'm more active on TikTok and able to like push it to shorts, that's when I see it subscriber count will increase. But what I've noticed is obviously the dancing reels, because I will dance in reels sometimes, get the most traction or views over there, and then like something funny.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
like a hit or miss, and I'm like, that's why I'm still not completely sold on it. So
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And what people are like why people consume certain content on certain platforms is important to understand, right? How it's going to
right,
perform.
right, yeah.
Why would you go to
Yeah.
YouTube versus Instagram? But awesome. Thank you for those answers in the chat here. We've got James says B. Definitely B. Final answer. Awesome. So Pinterest.
Maybe
And
this is just we don't know enough about it. For us,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like if the Pinterest gurus, if there's any in the chat, like they'll probably be all for it. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
it's
for
also like
sure.
preference, right? Too, and I feel like some people have shorts figured out. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the ones who do like, yeah, some perform so
yeah,
well.
I've seen some people get like multiple millions of views compared to TikTok versus like
Mm-hmm.
shorts. So yeah.
So true. Yes. Greg says Pinterest gone. Tamara, B, Pinterest. Laura says A. So saying goodbye to Instagram Reels. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a surprising one. I
That
love
would be
that.
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all my leads come from Instagram, majority of them, and Threads, but I'm like, that's a meta product. So it's like, I
Mhm.
feel like we have to keep Instagram,
I know. Hey, to each their own. And I think that's really interesting and cool. I personally love Pinterest pins, consuming them, and even some of them that I post, like I tend to have better, I don't say consistent with them, but
Mhm.
better performing Pinterest pins than YouTube shorts. So I would say YouTube shorts. I also like longer
Mm.
form content on YouTube. So we had quite variety there. Thanks, everyone. The last question is, one's got to go. A, voice over videos. B, talk to camera videos. Or C, trending audio videos. Melissa, what would you say?
Trending audio has to go.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Really?
I think
I'm
so,
surprised at that
because
one.
I feel like, in just an ads perspective, I would rather test the other two versus trending audio. Because
Mm,
sometimes it's not always the trendy audio that lands. it's like the hook, or the first thing that they see on the screen. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Voiceover, I feel like those perform really well when I test those with ads. I don't know if you've seen success with voiceover.
Definitely. Heston, what would you say?
I'm actually going to say voiceover. I haven't found success with voiceovers for my content, and
Okay.
the only ones that I like myself, they're more fitness related, like motivational or inspiring type of voiceover. I haven't found voiceovers that are in the social media industry that I liked so far just yet. That really gravitate to. I like to see the person talk to the camera, and whether it's IG story or reel. Although, from my understanding, they don't perform as well in IG story compared to reels. But I still, depending on what's being told, I like it either way. And the other one, which was, what was the other option?
Voiceover, talk to camera, or trending audio.
Yeah.
Trending audio. I just enjoy trending audio until it gets to that point where it's like you hear it too much.
Yeah,
Like
when
that other
everyone's done
song
it.
right now is like, what's that song that's trending right now? Somebody's watching me. Oh my god,
Oh,
I'm
the
tired of
anxiety,
that
yeah.
one. Anxiety, yeah.
I
Oh,
know. I got sick of that
I'm
like the
tired of
first
that
time
one.
I heard it.
It's on the radio now too, so I just feel like it's blowing up. So now it's everywhere.
Wait, you still
Yeah.
listen to the radio?
I do, yeah. I'm like old school when it comes to like getting in my car. Like I just let the radio play. Unless my daughter's in there and she's like really wants to hear something, I'll put it.
That's a fun question. Everyone in the audience here in the chat, do you still listen to the radio? Let me know. I didn't think anyone listened to the radio.
Yeah,
It's the first thing my daughter does when she gets in the car. As soon as my daughter gets in the car, she puts on the radio.
I love
She
that. Interesting.
doesn't put on like music like from her iPod or iPad or device.
If we're traveling a little bit further distance than from school or something like that, she'll put it on from her device. But usually it's the radio. And I think it's because of the dynamic aspect where you don't know what's coming up next. And also,
Surprise.
she likes to play some of the games, the radio station games. Like they'll
Yeah.
have a caller. She's actually won. My daughter's actually won Jennifer Lopez tickets.
No,
Calling in.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to always win those things like on the radio. She'd be like always like calling. I'm like, oh, I would just never have like the time where I couldn't even remember the number, when they would like just blurt it out. I'd be like, was that
so fast? Yeah.
I want to win these tickets.
I forgot. That's like, wow, nostalgia.
Like sometimes they would do this like pay your bill like segment, like when I was in college, and I'd be like, oh my god, like I wish they could pay my bills,
Yeah.
I mean, that's my age. That's why I default to the radio. So.
Well, I mean, I loved the radio growing up, and definitely. I just don't. I completely forgot about calling in to win tickets. I feel like I won some when I was, in high school, and like you'd stay up late to listen to the radio and call in. But you were right. It was always fast to write down that number. It was always so quick. I think I would say getting rid of trending audios because I like that we can add more context to the other ones. I personally only really watch the other ones. I scroll by trending audios as a consumer. I use them a lot, but as a consumer, I don't necessarily consume that content. So everyone in the audience here says, Tamara, voiceover, got, I know I saw more here. Hook is key. C. Okay, so Greg says C. Trending audios. Yes. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for playing along.
I'm surprised a lot of people said trending audio because I would think that was like the default.
I do want to also point out that we got a lot of love for the radio conversation.
Okay.
James said we are reminiscing something fierce right now. So we are not alone.
Right? Like, what if like the broadband goes down? Like, we need radio.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Radio for life.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for playing along with us. I didn't see, I put in a little message earlier as we were going through the game. If you guys had any questions, I didn't see any questions here, and we're pretty much at the top of the hour, so we want to be respectful of everybody's time here. So I think we're going to start closing up shop for our episode today of the Social Roundtable. But before we do, I want to make sure I share or state this. If you guys are interested to learn more about what Melissa offers on her Instagram and on YouTube. Check the description right now. You can find a link to her page as well as mine and Megan's, as well as Angela. All of our links are in the description. If you enjoyed this conversation that we had all about boosted posts, trial reels, and ads, please like this video. When you like it, the algorithm recognizes it and shares it with more people that might find it interesting as well. We definitely appreciate you for doing that. And if you don't want to miss another episode of the Social Roundtable, it's best if you hit that subscribe button so you can join us and never miss a future episode. We do this every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to say thank you guys for coming to join and watch us. And thank you very much, Melissa, for joining us as our special guest here today. I want to give you a moment to talk about where people can find you, as well as that special program that you mentioned earlier. I believe it's called Ad Traffic School.
Yes, it's my ad membership for Meta. I'm actually hosting a free masterclass next Tuesday at 12 noon and 7 p.m. Central. So I am going to be talking about how you can utilize trial reels. So kind of like carrying on the conversation and how you can apply the trial reels into a top of funnel audience growth and lead generation strategy. So if you want to learn more about that and how it can work top of funnel and middle funnel and utilizing your trial reels, I would love for you to come. It's completely free. Head over to my Instagram. There's like a couple posts that you can like do the automation in, or you could DM me and I'll send you the link.
Or you could tap on the link at the bottom of the description. I have it already
Oh,
there
you
set
got
for you,
it.
Melissa. So if you guys want to get access to it, the link is in the description. I have it labeled Ad Traffic School Membership. So go ahead and check for it there as
Oh,
well. And
perfect.
shout out to you, Angela. Once again, I see you going really well in the live chat with everybody else sharing. She's sharing a lot of love with everybody here on the screen. Thank you so much, Angela, for being the best that you are in the live chat.
Shout out, Angela.
Megan, how about you?
Yes. Yes, thank you
How
so
about you,
much,
Megan?
everyone, for being here. You guys can hang out with me over on Instagram, Threads, and next week we'll be here again with another video.
Perfect.
Yes, we will. Next week, same time, Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Melissa, hold on for one moment as we close up shop here. I want to make sure that we got everything here recorded. But for you guys that are watching, we thank you once again for joining us. I am Heston. You can find me at Social Varsity. All the links to everything, to everybody's page, everybody's offers, everything's all in the description. So please check it out. We're looking forward for you joining our community so we can share more like this. Until the next time. We do hope that you guys turn in next week. Like I said, Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, take care. Have a great one. And we will see you then. Enjoy the rest of the week, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.